I'd like to call this meeting of the New Hanover County Board of Education regular meeting Tuesday, November 5th, 2019 to order. It is 5:30 p.m. I'd also like to remind everyone to please turn off all their cell phones at this time or silence them. Now, if everyone could please stand for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance and National Anthem and posting of colors.
I was asked to fill in last minute, so if you'll join me. Lord, we thank you humbly for the opportunity to come together as a board and as a community to do the service of our children, faculty, and staff in New Hanover County. We ask for wisdom, patience, and understanding as we strive to do the best we can for the voters and for all of our constituents here. Thank you very much. Amen. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, you may be seated. Thank you.
If we could have another round of applause for the Thank you. Our national anthem tonight was performed by the Williston band members, Principal Askia Kirby and Instructor Gwen Wilson, and the posting of the colors was conducted by Hoggard High School Navy Junior ROTC Principal Mary Paul Bell and instructors Commander David Everett and Sergeant Richard Gushardo. And we're going to ask those folks to come back up so that they can introduce their students and the cadets to the audience.
Good evening. Again, I'm Gwen Wilson Fitzpatrick from Williston, and these are my students, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves to you.
Hi, my name is Ashley Escola, and I'm an 8th grader at Williston Middle School.
Hi, my name is Deanna Williams, and I am an 8th grader at Williston.
Hi, my name is Jonathan King, and I'm a 6th grader at Williston Middle School.
My name is Robert Murray. I'm a senior at John T. Hoggard High School.
My name is V. Barrera. I'm a senior at John T. Hoggard High School.
Cadet Petty Officer 3rd Class Dylan Craig, Hoggard and JRTC.
My name is Joshua Underhill. I'm a freshman at Hoggard.
Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Bullier, for stepping in and doing the invocation. Item number 2, approval of the agenda. Item A, special meetings, September 17th and October 8th, 2019. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. There's a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Chairman, I'm assuming we're meeting the minutes, approving the minutes, not the agenda.
Oh, yeah. Okay, it does say approval of the agenda. Okay, so these are the minutes. Thank you for that clarification. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? They are approved. Item B, regular meeting minutes for September 3rd, 2019 and October 1st, 2019. Is there a motion to approve?
Move for approval.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? They are approved. Item number 3, recognition of achievement. And who is, Ms. Clegg?
Good evening. Tonight, we begin our recognitions by highlighting our community partnership with the United Way of the Cape Fear area. I would like to introduce President and CEO Craig Hine, who will share with us how his organizations support families' financial, educational, and health well-being through their network of partner agencies and how the school district supports United Way through our annual campaign, which is currently taking place through the month of November.
Thank you for allowing me to come before the school board. I brought enough materials for the school board and not for the whole room here, so I apologize for that. But let me pass out what I have each way. This is the 9th United Way that I work with, meaning this is the 9th community that I work with. And in every community we have the same puzzle. How do you deal with all of the issues in a community that are related to physical health, housing, mental health, nutrition, literacy? How do communities do this? I've worked in Philadelphia, I've worked in Pittsburgh, Columbus, Ohio, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Silicon Valley, and the communities are very different. One of the key issues that we always have in every community is how we're going to be able to create a greater future than we have today. Next, let's see. We are different from the Red Cross and Salvation Army in the sense that they are chapters of a national organization, and you need that because you need to mobilize people in a moment's notice. We need to have 25 people in Wilmington by Friday because of the disaster that struck. United Way is very different. We're organized community by community around the country, so each community owns and operates its autonomous United Way. I report to a board of directors. You'll recognize some of the names here. Dr. Markley is on my board, so is Dr. Oates, the superintendent in Brunswick County. This is important because we're changing United Way dramatically. We will always be a safety net of services, but that safety net of services is a reaction to problems that already exist in the community, and we react to it. So what United Way tries to do is to create a community table to determine what are the priorities that we're going to spend our money and time on. Can we conceive of the optimal approaches to be able to grow a community that's better every day? And then, most importantly in my mind, is can we prevent the need in the first place? Having worked in United Way since 1978, I've watched communities try to react to the problems in so-called addressing the needs of the community, and it doesn't work. Yes, we need a safety net, but are we capable of, as communities, to figure out how we can organize community resources to prevent the problem in the first place? And if our job is seeing people float by in the stream and we run down to the shore to pull them out, and then we get more volunteers and technology involved, it's still remedial. Let's send people upstream to try to figure out why are they slipping into the stream. So what are we trying to do in United Way? Yes, we will have a safety net of services because those things are in our face right now. But what we are going to organize resources around 3 areas. Number 1, preparing children and youth for success. And these have to work in tandem. Number 2, strengthening families and individuals. And number 3, keeping neighborhoods safe and secure. This is proactive programming. How do we organize resources so kids can grow up strong? You deal with this as school board members. You have one of the most difficult jobs there is. But many of the problems that you face in your school system come from home. This is where a community needs to organize itself with coherency, coordination, and a clear focus to achieve certain results. And yes, we will provide child nutrition programs, after-school enrichment, literacy programs, job skills, and so forth. Those are the proactive things we'll do, and in addition to that, we'll still be there when the disaster strikes, as we were this past year, applying more than $2 million to try to bring people back to home and health. The bottom line for us in our United Way is that we want to support every child in the Cape Fear area to grow into strong, resilient individuals who can succeed in school and in life. You can see where our agendas come together. It's a community that has to support the work you do, to support the children in their schools, and to organize our services not just to react to problems in the community, but to try to get there before the accident happens. In many communities, this is called cradle to career, a continuum of services, Smart Start, communities and schools, Boys and Girls Club, all the things we've been funding, but with a coordination that makes sense. This Sunday in the newspaper, we're going to be highlighting the bus drivers in our school system that are supporting United Way. And over time, we've been trying to recognize the heroes and heroines in our community who do a terrific job. We were able to do that last month in our Heroes Evening, and we were able to recognize only one of the many people working in this school system that are doing the most important job we have in this community, and that is raising our children. I want to recognize Eimer Smith for being one of those individuals, recognized by United Way, but truly a community hero in so many ways. Thank you very much.
Does anyone have any questions? Any comments?
No, just that our campaign is underway for United Way, and I will tell you that our school district as a whole is one of the largest supporters of United Way in the community. as a percentage. A huge percentage of our employees give to United Way, and those dollars make a real impact. Our principals will kick off their campaign this Thursday at Nourish NC, which is one of the United Way agencies. Greg, thank you.
Thank you.
This month, we are pleased to present the principal of Wilmington Early College High School, Regina Wooten, who will share a video highlighting the benefits of the early college program in partnership with Cape Fear Community College. Ms. Wooten.
Good afternoon or good evening. Wilmington Early College High School is an early college high school, or one of two early college high schools in New Hanover County. We're on the campus, North Campus of Cape Fear Community College, and our students graduate with not only a high school diploma, but also an associate's degree in either arts, fine arts, or science. Our students can transfer or often transfer to any of the 16 colleges and universities for UNC. And we also have students that go out of state to go to school, and they usually finish in 2 or 3 years depending on what their majors are. Our students came together to do a video, and at this time I think this gives you an inside look as to exactly what life is like at Wilmington Early College. Wilmington Early College High School is located on the campus of Cape Fear Community College. We are a New Hanover County school, and our students are grades 9 through 13. Our students have the opportunity to be dual enrolled with Cape Fear Community College, and our students can earn not only a high school diploma, but also an associate's degree. They can earn an associate's in science, an associate's in art, an associate's in fine arts, or an associate in engineering. Our students graduate ready to go on to the next level, either to college, to workforce, or to the military. Our students are truly a degree above.
I chose to come to Wex because of the amazing opportunities we were given, such as graduating with an associate's degree, and also I just realized how much the teachers cared about every student.
I decided to come to Wex because I saw all the great opportunities that I could get here. I could get an associate's degree when I graduated high school. I could get free books and free college, and it's all paid for by Hanover County.
I chose Wex because of the small class size, and a lot of my friends were going to Wex, so I decided it would be a good fit for me.
What really sold me on it is the day I shadowed. I got to see, it really did feel like a family. Like it was this really small kind of school with all these smaller classrooms, so you could get these individual time with all your teachers. And I love the idea of being able to choose whatever classes I wanted.
I went to Trask, and I actually, whenever I was in 8th grade, I applied to Wex to come in as a freshman. And so I went to Wex all 5 years, and then I went to UNCW for 2 years, and I got my bachelor's in mathematics. I wanted to come to Wex because of the smaller class sizes, and I kind of think regular high school is a little scary. Even in my adult life, I still think that regular high schools are scary. So I'm really glad that I got to have the opportunity to work at Wex, and I'm still here.
There's lots of benefits. The first one that comes to mind is the smaller class sizes. I feel like I've grown a lot closer with the teachers here than I would have at a traditional high school.
The social aspect, where everyone's friends with everybody, the teachers are everything's so personalized, you just feel a bit more like it's at home.
Like when you go off to college and you spend money on like classes and stuff, Wex helps to like lower the amount of money that you pay in college credits to get free college classes. So that's a very big one.
I plan on going to firefighting, and it's prepared me by allowing me to get into volunteer programs with them, and that it's such a close connection with the Fire Academy since CFCC hosted.
The fact that I was able to take so many college classes, I've learned completely new things like printmaking and sculpture and ceramics, and I was able to take portfolio and resume, which is really helpful for transferring to future colleges and getting a job. So really, there's a ton of ways that it benefited.
I think one of the things I like most about Wex is being able to join college clubs, so I can be with my college peers
Outside of class, they have the yearly field trips, which are nice because most high schools either have one senior trip, and there's also sometimes we do like kickball tournaments and just stuff that actually involves students.
I want to get my business degree, and being a part of FBLA and student government have really helped spark that, as well as being a part of the honors public speaking class at CFCC, and just being a part of doing those elective classes have just helped me, discover that goal.
Sometimes I need to get a ride downtown early in the morning for my early classes. I'll go to my class, I'll do some homework, I'll go to another class, I'll come back to WEX, hang out with my friends, eat lunch, talk, play volleyball, and then I have high school classes in the afternoon.
Well, whenever you become an upperclassman, you can have pretty flexibility with your schedule. You can have your classes start at 9 o'clock in the morning or have them start at 12 p.m. in the afternoon. I like to get my classes done early, so I'm usually done by 11 or 12 every day. So you can be really flexible with your scheduling.
I hope you enjoyed our students. Wilmington Early College is always open, so if you would like a tour or you would like to come in and meet some of our students, please feel free to come by. And again, we're on the North Campus of Cape Fear Community College. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time.
Our first recognition of achievement goes to the school district for earning the North Carolina Rehabilitation Association's Employer of the Year Award. As you know, the district, with the support of our board and Mrs. Estep, who served on the committee, is committed to initiating and encouraging work opportunities for people with disabilities. In partnership with Human Resources Division, Special Education, and Student Support Service Divisions. At this time, I would like to congratulate Deb Trafton, Supervisor of Classified Talent Management, and Ms. Julie Askew, Assistant Superintendent of Student Support Services, and ask that they please come forward to be recognized. Congratulations, ladies. We are very proud of your leadership in focusing on people's abilities rather than their disabilities. Last year, the Advisory Council for Exceptional Students, commonly known across the district as ACES, began recognizing a Special Educator of the Month. Our district currently employs 235 certified special educator teachers, and these top educators have been nominated by principals, parents, or coworkers for their commitment to serving students with special needs by implementing innovative, individualized instructions. When I call your name, please come forward to be recognized and remain standing for a group picture. From Ogden Elementary, Yvonne Lavorne. From Blair Elementary, Ellen Conklin. From College Park Elementary, Rachel McCoy. From Pine Valley Elementary, Kristen Altman. And from Parsley Elementary, Kelsey Stoka. If special education just a second. Sorry. If Special Education Director Patty Williams and the principals of these fine teachers are here, please, we ask that you, as well as their families, please stand at this time. Congratulations, and thank you for your patience and all you do for our students. Our next recognition was awarded by the U.S. Alliance for a Healthier Generation. More than 300 schools representing 23 states were honored for prioritizing healthy eating, physical activity, and staff well-being, and were named America's Healthiest Schools. Surprisingly, 77% of these schools across the nation were also Title I schools, serving high-need student populations. Each school met or exceeded federal nutrition standards for school meals and snacks, offer breakfast daily, incorporate physical activity during the school day, implement district wellness policies, and involve parents and community members. New Hanover County Schools is proud to announce that 2 of these schools are located here in our district, among only 7 schools in the entire state. At this time, I would like to recognize Pine Valley Elementary School and their principal, Mr. Sam Kantrowitz. Retired PE teacher Ann Suttles, and current PE teacher Caitlin Hunter. Also earning recognition is Trask Middle School with their principal, Dr. Maggie Rollison. And Jennifer Bivens, chair of the school's Health and Wellness Committee. Please come forward to be recognized. Congratulations, guys, and keep up the great work. Finally, I would like to introduce Jane Lott from the American Heart Association, who will recognize the top student fundraisers and campaign coordinators for the Kids Heart Challenge and share with you how the American Heart Association partners with our schools to promote healthy lifestyle choices.
Thank you so much, Dr. Markley and the board, for allowing me to be here tonight. We'd like to thank, first and foremost, all of our participating schools in our new Kids Heart Challenge. For those of you not familiar with Kids Heart Challenge, it was formerly known as Jump Rope for Heart. It's a national program where we partner with schools across the nation. Our goal is to educate our children on how to prevent heart disease, inspire our children to take a health challenge, and also to help those in the community who have special hearts. Finally, we ask our schools to have a celebration of life, to get our kids' hearts pumping and to celebrate their community service efforts and also their commitment to their own good health. We also have grants, professional development hours, wellness and social emotional lesson plans, U.S. Games, and school checks for our qualifying schools in an effort to keep our kids healthy. It is our dream with our new Kids Heart Challenge and American Heart Challenge program to eliminate preventable heart disease for the first time in this generation, because heart disease is 80% preventable. So this year we had over 1,500 parents and children take the health pledge, and we were able to put $3,700 in U.S. Games into the county, and also $2,420 in school checks for professional development. We would love all of our schools to join us. As we know, only 9% of our students actually take part in the fundraising portion of our events, but all are impacted by the healthy messaging. So I would love to recognize right now our top life-saving students, our coordinators, and our principal, because these are very special people who give of their time and energy to help instill heart-healthy habits into our children. To the top life-saving students and their families, we call you Super Heart Heroes because by your generous community service, just like a Super Heart Hero, you save lives. So this evening, I want you to come on over to me. I've got a little Heart Hero cape for you, and also Ms. Collette has our certificates. So in the essence of time, I want to ask all of you to stay up here and we'll get a quick picture. And so we'd like to recognize the number 5 school in our county was Wrightsboro Elementary. Our top heart hero, Sabella McIntyre, our coordinator, Chris Sheeran, and Dolores Overby, the principal. Y'all wanna come forward? Our number 4, right? Our number 4 top school, our top heart hero was Averill Brown. If you're here, come on up. Leanne Young, coordinator, and Laura Holliday, principal. Thank you so much. Our number 3 top school in the county was Eaton Elementary, and our top heart hero is Ryan Dennis, Bobby Tu, our coordinator, and Heather Byers, our principal. I think Ryan is not here tonight. Okay, and our number 2 school in the county is Parsley Elementary. Our top life-saving student, Allie Sauer. I think I may have said that wrong, Allie. Christopher Walters, our coordinator, and Ms. Dr. Robin Hamilton, our principal. And drum roll, please. Our number 1 school in the county this year was Anderson Elementary, and our top hero is Jamar Brum. I think I saw you here. Curtis Fallon, who couldn't be here today, and Miss Krista Holland, our principal. Please join me in thanking all of these awesome schools and children.
Thank you, Ms. Clegg, and thank you, everyone. Item number 4, call to the audience. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. However, time does not permit dialogue between the board and the community. While the board welcomes residents to share their views, the chairman retains the right to limit discussions on a particular topic when such comments become slanderous or personal in nature. First person to sign up is Allison Wood Black.
Hello, my name is Allison, and I live in North Chase. I have a 12-year-old daughter that attends Trask. I have 2 issues on the agenda I'd want to address. First being the redistricting and transportation issue. I want to thank Mr. Bolo and Ms. Justice for coming out and meeting with our neighborhood and bringing the issue to greater light for us. We were encouraged to hear there was a new option of the 3C map as a potential solution for redistricting. We have around 968 homes in North Chase. The majority of the children that live in these homes walk to school to Laney and Trask. We are aware that there are 3 maps in consideration at the moment, and we as a neighborhood are in favor of map 3C. This allows our children to continue to walk to Trask and not burden the already overpopulated bus issue. There are not enough buses in this county to support it as is, and as per stated last night in the news broadcast, we are already 18 bus drivers short. The other 2 option maps, A and B, force our children to go to Holly Shelter and will cause an even bigger shortage in bus drivers. It is my understanding that none of these maps are the final map, and the potential for 2 additional maps are to be drawn. We are aware that the whole residential part of North Chase is within the 1.5 mile statewide radius, and would like for this to be kept in consideration of any future maps to be considered. My second topic I would like to mention is the dress code. As you're all well aware, there were 78 students dress coded last month at Trask. 77 of them were females. These students were sent to ISS for being out of dress code until a parent brought new clothes. This continues to be an issue that girls are dealing with, and there doesn't seem to be any type of resolution provided as of yet. There was even a set of sisters that wore the same thing to school. One was dress coded and one was not, and it was stated because of their body type. This is a horrible shame to these girls. And I don't understand the purpose of using ISS as a punishment when their embarrassment was likely enough. There was nowhere else to hold the girls if that was their way of doing it, which I believe was even handled improperly. We need solutions to the dress code policy revisions to address these concerns. The sheer number of kids being dress coded shows that there's an issue with the policy and not the kids who try to follow it but are given unclear rules to follow. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is James Clark.
Hello, my name is Jim Clark, and I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak with you all today, and thank you for your service to New Hanover County. Excuse me. My family lives in the Traybrook community, which is planning block 259, and I emailed you all about my concerns about the new middle school option 3C. I see there is now a new option 3D, which addressed all my concerns, so I just want to reiterate that I feel like 3C has plenty blocks that are further away from Roland Grice Middle School, going to Roland Grice Middle School, than ours, where we are sent to Myrtle Grove, and some of that seems to be based, on appearance, it seems to be based on less on geography and somewhat on perhaps home values and incomes. At least that's what it looks like superficially, and I'm sure that wasn't intentional. But as far as I'm concerned, everything was addressed with option 3D, and it seems fair and equitable. We have a very small planning block, only 28 middle school students. So I just wanted to say thank you for consideration. I know they're all under consideration, but I would advocate for 3D as being equitable for most people. Thank you so much.
Brad Smith.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the board. My name is Brad Smith, and my family lives on Middle Sound Loop Road in Ogden. Last month, when I spoke with you, my focus was on the various reasons Middle Sound Loop and Bayshore should remain within Noble Middle School District, and how that decision would be in line with 5 of the 6 guiding principles, if not all 6. I was not alone, as over 61% of all survey respondents and more than 86% of those affiliated with Ogden Elementary felt the same. Tonight, I would like to focus on an issue that should take priority over all guiding principles: getting our children to school on time. This is a countywide problem that is affecting children daily. During the WCT Investigate segment last night, and as mentioned earlier, it was stated that there's a shortage of approximately 18 drivers per day, and almost 60% of the parents surveyed stated their bus was often late. Yesterday, our bus was an hour and a half late, and today, when volunteering at my daughter's school, there was an announcement that another bus would be late. I've attended 3 meetings to date, and not once have the pickup and drop-off times been mentioned in the redistricting proposals? Not once has a driver shortage and the late bus has been mentioned. How can we consider moving children further away from the school that they are currently districted for without a plan to adequately address the issue with bus transportation in our county? Tonight, I'm speaking on behalf of the parents and children of Middle Sound Loop and Bay Shore, as we are the areas that would be most severely impacted by redistricting. If our children are moved from Noble to Holly Shelter and the buses are on time, they would be 30 minutes late to school every single day. If the buses are late, as they frequently are, our children would miss a significant portion of their classes, disrupting their day and impacting their ability to learn. Unfortunately, the pickup times can't be earlier because, as we know, the middle and elementary schools use the same buses. Additional buses would have to be added, and additional drivers would have to be hired. So my question is, has this been considered? If so, how can moving our children to Holly Shelter be up for discussion? As of where we stand, we can't get them to school on time with Noble only 4.5 miles away. How bad will it be if another 8 to 9 miles are added to that commute? I would like to ask each of you, before you decide which map to move forward with, to please consider how the children on Middle Sound Loop Road and Bayshore will get to school on time. I hope we can agree that there is no guiding principle more important than providing transportation system that allows children to be in their seats before the tardy bell rings. I also hope you'll give this the attention it deserves when deciding which map to move forward with. Thank you.
Dallas Brown.
Good evening, school board members. My name is Dallas Brown, and I'm the president of the New Hanover County Association of Educators, the local unit for the North Carolina Association of Educators, and a business teacher at John T. Hoggett High School. Thank you for this opportunity to speak to you all on a subject that is dear to all of us, our children, the students of New Hanover County. We are concerned about their safety and their education, just as you are. There are two concerns we wish to discuss with you tonight. They may not seem related, but they are. Bus drivers and teacher assistants, or the lack of them. Bus drivers and teacher assistants, or ESPs, keep our students in schools safe. They are the first face students see in the morning and the last one they see at the end of the day. They are a valuable component of the school community and the educational success of our students. However, in the last few years, the positions were merged together to solve a bus driver shortage, but that hasn't happened. Neither position are being filled to capacity. At the beginning of this week, there were 8 temporary teacher assistant positions, 6 combined teacher assistant / bus driver positions, and 1 part-time teacher assistant position posted on the New Hanover County website. That is 15 teacher assistant positions that are not being filled. The community is concerned and frustrated about the transportation of the students to and from schools, and rightfully so. But what we are really concerned about is that many of our students are not receiving the educational support in those functioning and formative academic years, kindergarten through 3rd grade. That's 15 teacher assistants that could be in those lower grades. That's 15 teacher assistants that could be addressing the social, emotional, and educational needs of our youngest children. We know that when students are not at grade level by 3rd grade, they rarely catch up. These are the grades that need a teacher assistant during the instruction to provide additional support and remediation in a real-time frame. As educators, we know that this is best practices, but 15 teacher positions not being filled is unacceptable. We are asking the school board to do 2 things. 1, separate the bus driver positions from the teacher assistant positions. Our students' academic needs are being held hostage over bus driver shortages. The second is to pay bus drivers as professionals. Raise the starting salary to $15 an hour now instead of over a 2-year period, and raise the existing pay by $2 for each level of currently employed drivers. We are in the 2nd quarter of the school year and 15 teacher assistant positions are not filled. 6 of those are for bus drivers. There is an $8 million emergency fund. You, the school board, could alleviate this problem by following these 2 suggestions. We are one of the wealthiest counties in North Carolina for educational spending, yet can't seem to raise bus driver salaries to the competitive in this area. Thank you.
Susan Bullock.
Good evening, Madam Chair, board members, staff, superintendent, people in the audience. I'm Sue Bullock, and I've lived here since the early 70s, raised 6 children, lots of grandchildren, lots of great-grandchildren, and most of them have gone to school. But I'm not here about their being part of your school system, our school system. I'm here for the Wrightsville Beach Chamber of Commerce, a group of business folks that are concerned with the proposal for the change of calendar year. We would like to offer and ask, we'd like to first offer our efforts and work with you if you are willing to table this issue for a year to find other solutions. We would like to ask that you put together a collaborative group of your own board, and Nelson has been very kind to us. He spent a couple of hours working with us and talking with us about what you have already done, but we find that the current proposal would roll back the time such that we would be prior to the 2004. I don't know of any of you, well, that's not true. There are a few of you who were here prior to that time. It was a hodgepodge of start and stop dates, and no one could really predict what the environment would be for business. In real life, besides chairing the chamber, I do bond issues and campaigns across New Hanover County or across North Carolina, and I've found that the best combination for school systems is a good working relationship with not only their businesses and their communities and their PTAs, but a unified effort. We at Wrightsville Beach, or the beaches, have fallen down on that in terms of working with you and being present as you have discussed this item. We've come to the table late, we know that, but we would like to present to you that if you make this change, it will be a catastrophic change in the outcome of room occupancy tax and other taxes for the county. So we ask that you set this aside and ask us to help. We'd love to do so. Thank you.
Rebecca Trammell.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Trammell, Community Conversations. So I've done a little bit of looking into what's going on with the redistricting, and our team kind of reconfigured the spreadsheet to show, and created a spreadsheet to kind of show what's going on demographically in the redistricting proposals. Right now, currently, there are more white students than black students, more black students than Hispanic students, more Hispanic students than students considered other, like me, biracial maybe, Native American, Asian. The highest representation in 6 schools is African American. In all 6 of those schools, they all have C and D ratings. Right now, when I look at the proposed changes even though we have the highest minority being African American, we are the extreme most minority. Black African Americans are the most extreme minority in 10 schools in all 3 of these redistricting programs or proposals. Right now, it looks like there's either going to be marginalization and there's isolation. There's marginalization that we have higher concentrations of African American children, and unfortunately, it does mean poverty. They're concentrated in 6 or 8 schools, and then there's a hyper minority in the schools where they are underrepresented. How do we have like the highest? How do we have like the second highest population in the schools, but have the least number of students there? That's how things happen, like Coddington slave games. That's how things happen, like children not getting a Christmas present with the rest of their class. That's how these things happen. I spoke to someone yesterday about poverty in the schools, and if I told you his stories, you would do it like I did in the middle of Starbucks, cry. There are kids that don't have basic things like toilet paper in our city. One thing that the data shows is that money does not fix the problem, but poverty is correlated to the performance of schools. We need to change it in this generation. We have to get ahead of the game. We have to break the cycle of poverty, just like Mr. Himes said. And we need to be strategic about how we do that. Thank you.
Jessica and I'm going to apologize in advance. Akipa? Is that right? It's Akipa. Okay.
You did great. Short. Hi, I'm Jessica Ochipa. I've got a 6th grader at Roland Grice Middle School currently, and we have been recently made aware of the new maps that came out today, probably about 4:30, so please excuse me because what we are talking about regards to the previous 3 maps that were introduced. I'm representing Tyndall. It's a community of 60 homes with 50+ children ranging from 1 to 18. We're located off Beasley Road, but the uniqueness of our neighborhood is that we're a one-way in, one-way out. It's a dead-end neighborhood, which is not always visible on maps and GPS. Currently, we're districted to Roland Grice Middle School, which is 2.8 miles away. The redistricting concerns that our neighborhood has provided, or concerned with, is the guiding principles state sending schools to the closest proximity school. Switching our neighborhood school to Myrtle Grove Middle School will place our neighborhood as the furthest point away, doubling our distance from 2.8 to 4.6 miles away. These newly drawn lines turn our neighborhood into an isolated peninsula with all areas surrounding us still districted to Roland Grice. We now become the minority in our area and within the feeder patterns to the high schools. Busing is a daily concern for the New Hanover County schools. We've already heard several people talk about the shortage, and students are arriving late. Bus crashes have become a lot more frequent. With this proposed change, there will be over 5 miles of direct overlap between bus routes for both Myrtle Grove and Roland Grice Middle School. Beasley Road is an extremely narrow, highly traveled road with no shoulder, making it very difficult for a bus to turn onto and off of, and completely impossible for it to turn around on. Currently, the bus stop for Roland Grice is at the top of our neighborhood. It picks up several neighborhoods around us. According to the new maps, you will need this existing bus route, plus you will need to add another one, traveling in the opposite direction to gather our lone neighborhood and take it down to Myrtle Grove. Masonboro Loop Road is already a highly congested road, especially during drop-off and pickup times. Both buses and newly added routes will only add to this congestion. Clear feeder patterns and continuity are another guiding principle. Sending our students south to Myrtle Grove while we lie geographically north displaces these students from their current relationships and doesn't allow them to rely on friends from adjoining neighborhoods during these crucial times. It raises concerns that they'll fall victim to targeting, bullying, and the outsider effect. We feel that these guiding principles are not adhered to, especially when we'll be the minority feeder pattern from Hoggard High School to Hoggard High School. Only 39% of students will be districted from Myrtle Grove to Hoggard, while 100% go from Rolling Rice. Finally is the utilization and best use of the current facilities. The proposed change sends our students from an overcrowded school to make another one overcrowded. We appreciate your concerns, and we appreciate you listening to us. We're not trying to pit one school against another. We're simply thrilled that our children have made it to an established place. Thank you.
Lynette Faye Johnson.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen of the board. My name is Lynette Johnson. I go by Faye. I am a junior at John T. Hoggard High School, and I'd like to talk to you about the proposed calendar change of going on to the college schedule. According to the NHCS website, there were a couple of pros posted on there, and although I know that's not your each and personal opinions, I'd like to address those directly. The first issue I had with that was the website mentioned summer employment, being able to, for students at Hoggard, to start their summer jobs in May. Around 53% of students at Hoggard do qualify for the free lunch, so I do take issue with the fact that students won't be able to start their summer jobs around rush season, which is mid-June. The second thing would be considering the extreme shortage of bus drivers. Starting the school year earlier next year and keeping it the same way this year would pose a direct issue for the Department of Transportation. Regarding the dual enrollment, because going on to the college schedule would supposedly promote the dual enrollment of students at Hoggard. There are enough students at Hoggard enrolled, and they do promote it enough. I don't believe the enrollment at CFCC would change. The, this schedule does, in fact, copy, first of all, the schedule tried out in the early 2000s, which did not work out as great as proposed. And I don't think right now is exactly the best time to be experimenting, considering the issue with the Department of Transportation. Also, this does copy, it is similar to a schedule proposed in Lincoln County, which is a more interstate community. And I don't believe the needs of a coastal community will be the same as those of an interstate community, and that should definitely be considered. My last thing I'd like to talk to you about would be the fact that the survey, which asked parents and students about this change in schedule, was not well communicated to the people it would be directly affecting, which is us, the students, the parents, and the teachers. On top of that, the pros considered in the website included the fact that teacher training days would be easier because we'd have those days off. Those would clash with the inclement weather days, which we aren't sure if we're going to have or not. And to my best understanding, most teacher training does happen within the first 3 weeks before school starts and before school. So obviously teacher training wouldn't be happening on those days anyways. And my biggest issue is obviously the lack of communication that happens between us. So at the very least, I think you should postpone the decision and send out another survey that would be better communicated. Thanks.
Kim Huffam.
Good evening, members of the Board of Education. My name is Kim Huffam, and I am the President and CEO of the New Hanover County Tourism Development Authority. Thank you for allowing me to speak to you tonight on behalf of my Board of Directors, representing the travel and tourism industry, which is among the county's largest industries and employers. On October the 30th of 2019, the TDA Board approved a resolution to support the existing school calendar legislation. And back in 2007, we also passed a resolution similar to that. Protecting the state's existing school calendar legislation has remained a top priority of the TDA Board since the law was enacted in 2004. As a result, August of 2005 showed a 22% increase in room occupancy tax collections over prior year. Not only would the change in the current law impact tourism during one of our top months, but it would also impact the workforce during this time. High school students and public school teachers make up a significant portion of the hospitality industry's workforce during our summer tourist season, from 5% to as much as 40% at some businesses. Many families depend on the extra income earned during the summer at area restaurants, lodging, shops, and attractions. And last but certainly not least, the negative impact to our state and local taxes, which help fund our schools. We as an industry would like to request the proposed calendar be tabled and have the opportunity to work with the Board of Education Calendar Committee to look at other options that would be amenable to all parties impacted by this change in the calendar. We know that there are at least a dozen other counties that have added 15 to 20 minutes daily to their current schedule and have been able to adopt a schedule that allows for exams before Christmas break and school ending in May. The proposed calendar changes that have been patterned after Lincoln County school calendar, which the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction has ruled as being non-compliant with the state's year-round school calendar law. If the proposed New Hanover County school calendar is deemed non-compliant by the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction, we trust that the New Hanover County Board of Education would choose to remain in compliance with the existing North Carolina school calendar law and reject any changes. Thank you for allowing me to share the position of the New Hanover County Tourism Development Authority with you this evening, and we look forward to working with the Board of Education on a school calendar that works for all. Thank you.
Rylan and Blake Edwards.
Hi, I'm Rylan Edwards, and this is my brother Blake. We recently submitted a letter to the school board and wanted to also speak today. Please remember back when you were in middle school and how awkward those years can be for students. We are accustomed to rolling rice and have all transitioned well, and moving us midstream to another middle school could not only be challenging but unfair, especially when there are only 3 neighborhoods being affected at this current time. We ask that you reconsider moving Traybrook, Tyndall, and Kelly Road and let us stay where things feel familiar and have made connections, not only with the teachers, coaches, and principals, but with the students at Rolling Rice. Thanks for your consideration on the issue of redistricting.
Mr. Bob Rippey.
My name is Bob Rippey. Do we always have as much fun at these meetings? I come to you tonight, you know why I'm here. I'm in Jungle Rapids. We employ 100 high school kids every year, and all of them love working for us. So I'd ask you, if you would, to please reconsider and table the motion tonight so that we can have a chance to work with you. Ms. Nichols and I worked together years ago to get the calendar law done. So thank you for your time. I won't waste any more of it. Thank you.
I've been asked to take just a 5-minute break, so we'll do that and we'll come right back.